One more. One more. Let's check the time. Let's check the time. Let's check the time. Okay. We'll see how many more. Maybe more than one more. It's kind of cold out here. It's not frosty tonight. It's rainy, but it's very cold. I can feel it through my clothes. All right, enough. Getting a little flat-footed. So I gotta control it. I try to use both sides, not just one. Because sometimes you get tired of one with your jabs. So I like to switch it up. And as well, if my opponent is not used to that, then it makes it harder for him. Never a her. Because in boxing, you don't fight girls if you're a guy. And if you're a girl, you don't fight guys if you're a girl. I'm still very sloppy, very lazy with my footwork. I'm really trying my basics because I do HEMA as well, a lot of karate, taekwondo based martial arts. So I'm very used to the kicking, the white stances, being able to be ready for that. In Muay Thai, but when it comes to boxing, I'm just diving into this. So I'm trying to work as much as I can in a very short time. Now talking like that is not a breather. Actually, I'm getting just as tired because I'm letting out wind and not properly breathing. So I should get back to work. I promised my coach I was going to do a lot of work at home, even though he said come to the gym and do it. I still try to work my ass off because I don't want to keep repeating the same move. I also got learning difficulties, so I have to film my stuff and I have to continuously look at it from different perspectives, different angles, and that truly helps me a lot because I do truly got genuine learning difficulties. It's on paper and everything, so I'm not just a liar. This is real in my life. So things like full contact martial arts is much easier for me because I can control the pace. If I make a mistake here, I can move over here. And it really helps people with learning difficulties be able to do sports like this because it really helps them with their hand-eye coordination, with their thinking, with their patterns. Gives them some discipline, some work they can do. It keeps them busy. And I think that it truly helps. Keeps also the person motivated and as well healthy. And that really helps them in society because they can help train other people, whether they got learning difficulties or not. They can train other people of different backgrounds to be good fighters or at least assist in that. I truly believe in that. So I didn't excel in college, even though I'm a very smart person when it comes to talking and certain communication. But when it comes to communicating on paper, reading things, it's just a little bit more difficult for me. And as well, learning things, it's just more slower. So I really need to review stuff again and again. And I often fail sometimes in those patterns because it takes me a little longer than other people. But still, I'm able to learn fairly quickly in these kind of things because it really helps me. Now I don't count my rounds, but I do definitely try to keep my breaks under a minute. And I definitely try to keep my rounds over 3-4 minutes and maximum or the minimum 2. Try not to go under that because I really want to put work in. When it comes to amateur fights, where I'm from, they're 2-minute rounds, but you go very hard in those 2 minutes. So that's why you always see me. I'm very intense, very high pace. I'm never just like. That way I can last longer, throw more power in. But I like to train like this because it really gets my cardio up, it gets my speed up. And then when I work on the basics, I'm nice and strong and I last for a long time and also get a lot of moving in ahead of time rather than month after month learning how to move slowly. But also you got to go down to the basics so that you are learning slowly and learning properly, not just trying to rush into things like I often do. Because I'm getting a little older, so if I want to do any matches, competition, or anything like that and survive against any kind of opponent, I got to learn fast. And since I'm still in my prime, I'm going to be in my prime for a good while, I truly want to get things going fast, so sometimes I rush myself, and that can be more harmful because you can get hurt, or you can get your record affected, and it just affects your reputation too. You know what I'm saying? It makes you look sloppy and stuff like that. So I really try to work my best and as well be honest with my coaches and the people I spar with and train with, and as well you guys, my viewers, because this is not just you guys, it's for me. I just happen to share it with you guys so that it can give me an extra motivation. I feel like I have a community behind me, get as well feedback from people worldwide that know this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Especially because I do a different kind of martial arts. You know what I'm saying? So I got a different kind of styles that are really looming in the style that I got right now for boxing. So when you see me, I'm kind of moving differently. I like to take sometimes wide steps. I like to cross my legs a bit. You know what I'm saying? I like to kind of run a bit. I like to kind of dive. You know what I'm saying? Those are things that you eventually do in boxing, but it's like you got to really learn the basics. You know what I'm saying? This is a house, so you got to build your. This is the bottom of the house right here. This is the foundation, and this is your house. So you know what I mean? You got to have a strong bottom so that you can keep this top nice and sturdy, keep you from getting tipped over, from getting you know what I'm saying, like you get hit and you get knocked down and it looks like you're almost getting knocked out, but in reality you're just off balance. And once again, that's control. The other person is getting you off balance because you're not doing good. You know, he's doing the basics better than you are and you can't even keep that. You're not going to go anywhere. You're just going to get hurt and you're going to get not disqualified, just simply not put in the first place. So those are my little tiny amateur tips, things that I pick up. I could be wrong on some things, like a lot of things I'm wrong, but I try not to be. I try to be very honest where I am. I try to let you guys know that this is, my learning experience as well, and you can learn from my mistakes, from my learning experience, and as well feel like you're working with someone, because I'm working up right now. These are my rookie stages. These are my amateur stages. This is when I'm literally like a nobody. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, maybe one day I'll be big. Not maybe. I got the mindset for it. I just got to really get in there. You know what I'm saying? Keep training and as well get myself recognized. Like I am right now, but this is still for me. But at the same time, people can watch that and say, hey, maybe that Wise Warriors Path guy is pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he'll be a good candidate. So we can put on our fight team or whatever. Just like my coach did for me at my gym. I was only there 2 days and he already put me on fight team. But still, it's very clear that I really got to work on what I got to work on, especially my basics, so I don't get booted off it, so I don't make the other people there look bad. I don't be a bad sparring partner, you know what I'm saying? And it's not fair to my other sparring partners that I already have if I don't learn the basics. So I really try to work my a-hole off you know what I'm saying, so that I can be a better person. I really try to struggle with what I got so that I can learn how to become a better person. That's who I am. So that's why I talk a lot of my videos. And I also make a lot of spelling mistakes because I got learning problems. And it's just like school never really was my big thing. It was more like PE and just kind of like doing my own thing, being artsy and crafty. Just kind of thinking my own plans. I don't know, I guess it's like being like autistic or something. Like you got your own way of learning. Other things are kind of difficult for you to do. But at the same time, I just got like really good abilities in certain learning things. So it's like when I apply this kind of stuff, I'm very good. I learn it fast. But sometimes it's just very hard when I'm getting taught from another. I got to film it, and then I got to watch it from a different perspective, you know, where my mistakes are, and I review it, and then I take it out here, and then I film it again. So a lot of this, guys, is for me, and as well as for people who are like me, who are at the bottom. So one day, if you ever see me competing like any sort of near professional boxing matches or MMA, you're going to see where I started. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of you, who knows what's happening with YouTube, you know, messing with so many people's accounts. I've had experience with that because talking about things politically. But anyways, apart from that, this video, you know what I'm saying, you guys just watch this stuff. Remember, you know what I'm saying, the struggle of people like me. Remember your own struggle and just work with it. You know what I'm saying? Because I work against so many odds. It's not even funny. I don't even like to talk about my weaknesses and my troubles, my learning patterns and stuff, because it's hard for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel that stuff as a human being. So it's like I don't tell people like on my YouTube. I really try to show a strong person. You know what I'm saying? Compared to what I deal with. And I guess in a way that means that I'm strong because I overcome those things. I still learn. I still get out here the way you should too. There's people out there that have big houses, big things, and their fathers and mothers are too busy trying to get them up to do something. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have that. You know what I'm saying? Like I have quite the opposite of that. You know what I'm saying? I had a good upbringing. I had a good family. But you know, now that I'm here, you know, I still got my learning struggles when other people could really excel right now. So I'm just trying to be honest with where I am. I do suffer with these things. But I try to overcome it because I put the work in. I get out there, I put the work in, I put the discipline in. I try as hard as I freaking can. You know what I'm saying? I sweat. I sometimes cry. I've busted up my body. Like I've been malnourished doing this stuff with a lack of sleep. I get out here, and these videos are a testament of it. How many styles I've been doing over the years, and or as well only with this channel, I guess. I guess people have only been following me for a year because this particular channel that's been up, I've been documenting, but I've been doing this for quite a few years, and I've been doing it on YouTube as well. But just this channel really focused on what I'm doing now. It's really a dedication on how hard I'm struggling with martial arts, especially in the later years of my youth. You know what I'm saying? I'm really trying to you know what I'm saying, get that in, get that footage in, be able to show my grandchildren, be able to show my family the achievements that I was able to do with what I had. And I'm just saying that if that inspires you guys, then you guys get out there too. I'm nothing. You see, I'm nothing. You see my footwork, you see my basics. I'm nothing. I'm nothing. I got nothing. But I get out there, you know what I'm saying? If I ever get into a fight, I get my head smashed in or something, I'm still going to keep going. But this is why I'm here right now, so that I can keep going intelligently. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I can finish my opponent humanely by knocking him out properly, not brutalizing him, not giving him hits to the back of the head, not giving him low blows, not pretending like I got low blowed. You know, actually get in there, really win. You know what I'm saying? And if you got to destroy your opponent, that's what you're going to do. You're going to go through your opponent. I've always been doing that my whole life. But now I have the opportunity to actually go to a place again, but properly with a proper mindset and focus on it. So it took me a lot of years compared to other people in these games to be able to have the right mindset, the right environment for me to learn. And this is one of the worst times in my life. I'm telling you, and still, it's almost like the best time of my life because I'm pushing through that and I'm remembering my struggles and being able to push to the next level. And this is the honest truth. This is probably the most honest I've ever been on my fucking channel. Sorry for the swearing, but that's the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like this is where I am in my personal life. This is what I deal with,
and I try to film and share with people so that they can be inspired to do better as well. I'm going to take a minute break so I can stop talking here. Alright guys, let's finish strong. I spent my last round talking, but I try to make up for it in times that I don't have proper rounds by working extra hard. So meaning like some days I'll do like 4 or 5 minute rounds, 350 rounds. I don't count it right because I get really tired and then I go sit down and I really try to push for 3 minutes or I just don't count it right. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the time doesn't go well when you're swinging. You think you've been there for a long time, but in reality you're just fatigued. And then that's how fatigued you've been for that long because you're, you know what I'm saying? But I can handle that. For some reason my body can handle that. Like I take a break and then my body regenerates again. I got the gift of being able to do that. And even though I'm getting older, I'm not slowing down. And in fact, you know, I'm still in my 20s. So it's like I feel, you know, that power. And no matter how unhealthy I've been, I've always been blessed enough to be able to heal fast and do that. And that's because my family, my genes, the kind of diet my family had. Anyways, my camera cut off. So I'm going to try to finish strong here because my last round there turned into complete talking. And as I was filming and talking before the camera cut off, I had like a minute in there explaining once again on why I use both sides, so southpaw and orthodox. So what happened is that my whole life this has been a complete power hand, and lately for some reason it just like when I went into boxing it turned into like a weak hand, and that's because when I went into boxing I was doing the technique wrong. So I wasn't getting enough power because I was having like a kind of like a karate stance, you know what I'm saying, like Eastern martial arts kind of stance. So I was really like you know really just like bending into that or not bending into it at all and just kind of like falling short, and it became kind of like a little punch, you know, like a short little jab, you know what I'm saying. That's what it became, and it's like so the jab was like. Boom! And so the jab was almost harder. That's what happened. But this has always been a power hand. This has always been a hand where instead of me going like this, you know what I'm saying, like in boxing, I always kind of went like that with it. Like I went like, that's how I always punched. So I always went like this, and I lined it up like bam, and then I went like that. So it was kind of like a street fight kind of haymaker. But I always did that. It's just like when I went into boxing, I don't know, it just felt weird when I started doing some martial arts. I wasn't doing it the way it was before, because before I'd kind of just come in and I'd kind of just come in whatever angle, and it would turn into this, you know, saying something wide, and I'd try to put my hips into it because from a young age I was always taught that the power from a punch comes in the hips. So over the years, my right hand has been all sorts of stuff. I used to play shot for shot. I don't know if you guys know that game where you hit each other until one of them gives up. You know what I'm saying? And I used to punch like that. And I used to punch so hard that for my little size, I would really hurt the people I was playing shot for shot with, and they would give up before I would give up. Unless I was facing some of my friends who they're really good at that game, and it's not a good game that I recommend you guys play. But I'm telling you, now that I do actual boxing, now I'm starting to get my power back. Now that I'm starting to learn the basics, so now when I come in, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, it's still kind of back here, but it's not too far away. And then when I still, you know, put the right technique in, you know, I put the most power into it. You know what I'm saying? I put the most, that's the truth, the most power into it that I've actually ever put in my life. So, you know, I definitely got to have the hand wraps when I hit the bag, because I hit the bag very hard. Very hard. I don't try to, but it's just a habit. Like, I hit the bag very hard, and sometimes I hit this hard, but this is very strong. This is very sturdy, and I asked the people who own this place if I could kind of hit this, so they didn't have a problem with it. As long as I'm not like, douche, and if I go like that, it's a super hard surface that doesn't give, there's no pushback. It's not like the human head where it's, you know, going somewhere, even though it's hard, that the brain stays there, that the skull still moves back. So this I can't really hit as hard as I want to, because I'll just ruin my knuckles, even with stuff under it, right? So the wraps under your gloves and on your hands helps you from, it prevents you from breaking your hands, but it doesn't, it's not break proof. Okay, so your hands are not magically fixed from there, like once you got your gloves on, like it's magic. No, you could still hurt your hands over time on body shots, people's elbows. You come up and you can break that by hitting the person's elbow. You know, the wrong hook, just being sloppy in the wrong technique, and the person blocks. And you know, this happens a lot as well in kicking and like Muay Thai and stuff like that. You got just a lot of jagged objects, you know, flying at your face. You know, it's not like boxing where there's a lot of rules and that, but it's still, you can still hurt yourself very bad, even just doing like basic punching. You know what I'm saying? Like over time, your hand can develop problems. So that's why wrapping is very important, and wrapping yourself properly. So in the past year, I started to adapt my right hand to this side for punching. But about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, is when I started to adapt my right hand for not jabs, but forward attacks. You know, where I'm attacking like this. And that happened because of the swords, because of sword use that I have. My whole life I've always played with swords and just like them and like to practice the styles, you know what I'm saying, learn the martial arts of them. That's what I mean by playing with them. And as well as, you know, when you're a kid, you like to chop the stuff with the machete. When you go out with your uncle or you do some yard work, you take the machete and you chop stuff. You know what I'm saying? And there's also the delinquent use, which I wasn't into. But all my whole life I've always did with swords and knives and things like that. So kind of when I get tired on my left hand, I like to switch to my right hand, and that gives me more power. So when I got into my actual martial arts just last year fully, even though I've been doing this most of my life, I've been doing different techniques. Wrestling is something that I've essentially have done all my life, and as well as the basic kung fu that my dad taught me and from what I picked up. You know what I'm saying? The basic kicks, the basic stances and stuff like that, and the punching that works for what they do it for. But when it comes to mixed martial arts, it just doesn't work. This just doesn't work. You know, it's like maybe there's like certain periods where like you're like bam, you know, like. I'm sorry, I don't mean to, I could, once again, you know, I could be saying something wrong, but no, I'm not kidding. Like, I'm not trying to lie or make fun of anybody, but no, it's, if you do that in boxing, you're just going to get knocked out. You're going to get flung so far that way with like a jab that it's not even funny. You know, especially if the person just sits on it, you know, just looks at you and just keeps at a distance. Well, their foot's like right here, you know. And just as you like almost like slow down or stop, they're just like bam! You know, that will knock you way back if you're literally like that. So, but that's how I learned. So when I went into boxing, I had a lot of this, you know, these stances and this, you know what I'm saying? You know, like what the fuck? You know, so you understand my dilemma here. But no, when I started punching and doing the martial arts again, you know, like mixed martial arts, where I'm getting more into the Western stances and stuff, I began to find myself doing this a lot. You notice it? You notice what I'm doing? Southpaw, I'm not orthodox. And I just found myself moving like I do in HEMA. You know, when I do sword, the arming sword in particular, you know, the knightly sword, the one-handed sword, you know what I'm saying? It's just, when I got tired, I'd even switch my buckler and my sword completely. You know what I'm saying? And then I would, and I just, when I started punching, I found that when I got tired, I'd switch sides. So instead of doing like a like a 3-minute round, I found myself doing like 10-minute rounds. And honestly, because I go bam, 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 you know, bam, 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 bam. Just demonstration, you know, this hand, and then I'll switch. Whew. Oh, that's a breather. Boom. So that's something I got used to with the swords. And over time, in history, a lot of swordsmen did the same thing when they were one-handed swords. But also, humans have been very strict with the one hand. You know what I'm saying? If they're right-handed, you know what I'm saying? They're right-handed. You know what I'm saying? They're right-handed. And if they're left-handed, you know what I'm saying? They're going to be left-handed, and they're going to try to stay with that. Same with kickers. But we are starting to meet a new age of fighting. And that's what I can tell you, a person at my age and as well my level. Even though I'm like a rookie with boxing, total green, I'm not a rookie with fighting in combat and studying the history of combat, warfare, the psychology. I don't even want to get into it, but I know about combat. That's one thing I do know with my abilities is combat. Even getting bullied, you learn combat. You know what I'm saying? It's just throughout life. And for some reason, I've always been able to read combat and fighting and throwing stuff and dodging and moving than words on a piece of paper. To the point where I was learning how to read better so that I can find out more about this. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I do understand how extremely important it is to be able to switch, and that's why I don't mind being this later in my 20s, learning how to box and wanting to compete, and even thinking about being like in the championships, being professional, because I just got that mindset, and that's the gift that I've had, you know, for my abilities up here, is that I'm very good at combat. I'm very good at analyzing things. I'm very good at arguing things. I'm very good at disputing things. I'm very good at making game plans against things, especially things that are going to trouble me. So in a way, I guess I'm good at business too. I don't know. It's like, those are my abilities, and I'm very happy that I have them. But I could use a little bit more of the simple stuff. And that's what I'm telling people who watch this stuff. You know, learn it properly, so that one day you don't get that wrong hit in the head, and then you're slow. You know, then you're at my level, the level I was born with, rather than something you chose. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't choose to be like this. I never got hit in the head to be like this. I've always, since I was younger, had these kind of learning issues, and my family doesn't have them. It's only me. So it's something that is very unique to me, and it's not in my genetics or anything, but I'm just telling you, it's difficult to live like that, but at the same time, with my difficulties, I've been almost savant in other things, and it's these things. Maybe not boxing yet. Maybe when I get a little bit more of the basics, I'm going to be able to transfer everything, my martial arts, the movements, the confidence, you know what I'm saying, that explosiveness, you know what I'm saying, the angles, into that basic boxing footwork, you know what I'm saying, until it becomes elaborate, and until this basic stance becomes something that is going to be fortified. So I may talk about this and say this is what I want to do, but honestly, I've been doing it for the past year. Now is the time that I'm actually in front of the camera and telling you guys what I'm thinking, what my plans are, what my weaknesses are for the first time in my life on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, like I'm putting the work in, and so should you. So I'm going to try to finish strong. Let's see how much my camera has battery here. Alright. It ran out of battery. So that was it for tonight, guys.